He has been separated from his parents for 18 years. Charlie was also anxious at this time. In fact, since he got the 9 Profound Sky Classics, he hasn't felt this panic and eagerness for a long time. His parents were buried in one of the Cardin mausoleums not far away. As long as they stepped up to more than 100 stone steps, they could go to the parents' graves to pay homage, fulfilling the biggest dream of 18 years. However, if these people don't let him go, can't go all the way, right? Or, does he have to identify myself from the Wade family? However, although he can make himself honorable to worship parents in that way, after that is the real trouble. At this moment, a loud voice sounded, "Let him go." Everyone followed the prestige, only to see an old master with an old-fashioned, completely white hair, beard, and eyebrows, walking slowly over with a cane. When Charlie saw this person, he felt that he should be 100 years old. Although he was very old, his walking posture was surprisingly stable with the help of crutches. It is the 12th lunar month of winter. The old master is only wearing a white tailored suit, but he can't see that he is half cold. And his crutches seem to be a bit different. Charlie has seen many old people's walking sticks, with dragon heads carved on the top, but there is a python carved on his walking stick. After taking a few glances at the other party, Charlie couldn't help but wondered in his heart. Could it be that Uncle said this person, the old Chinese feng shui master invited by the Wade family from the United States? Later, he couldn't help thinking, why did he agree to let me go up? Could it be that he saw through my identity? Is his insight so strong? Or is there any other way he can figure out my identity? Just when he couldn't think of the whole story, the person in charge of security asked in surprise, "Old master, don't you mean that outsiders are not allowed to go up except Wade family's best friend?" The old master smiled slightly, looked at Charlie and said, "He is not an outsider." The security staff was even more puzzled. "Old master, what do you mean? Why don't I understand?" The old master smiled and said, "I think this person should have a deep connection with the Wade family in his previous life, so he's not an outsider. Let him go up." Have a relationship in the previous life? The security personnel were naturally a little unbelieving, but the thought of feng shui was very mysterious at first. Maybe this thing might be true. So, he said embarrassingly, "Old Master Patriarch meant." The old master replied, "Have your patriarch said that as long as I am on this day, I will have the final say here?" The security personnel hurriedly and respectfully said, "The owner did say that." The old master asked again, "Then your patriarch has said that even if I ask you to tear down Wadirist's tomb, you must not disobey?" The security staff is more respectful. "The owner did say it." The old master nodded and asked, "Then I let him go up. Do you have any comments?" The security staff took a step back subconsciously and respectfully said, "Going back to the old master, I have no opinion." "Everything is subject to your opinion." The old master nodded in satisfaction, and then made a gesture of inviting Charlie, saying, "Gentlemen, please." Charlie was very puzzled. He didn't quite understand why the old master seemed to have spotted him at a glance. However, since the old master helped him solve the current problem, the most important thing for him is to go and worship his parents first. The rest can be said later. So he arched his hand at the old master and said, "Master, thank you." After speaking, he assisted Philip pretendingly, and together with Lennon and Sarah, they stepped up the stone steps. No one else followed, including the old master, who was also standing quietly below, looking at Charlie's background, desperately restraining the excitement in his heart. The tomb of the Wade family is divided into 9 rows. The top row is the first ancestor of the Wade family who left a grave. The lower you go, the lower your seniority. Charlie's parents were buried in the penultimate row. In this row, there are a total of 20 graves of the same size, but only one grave has a tombstone in front of it. Philip stopped in this row, pointed to the only tombstone in this row, and said to Charlie, "Charlie, that is your parents' tomb." Charlie nodded lightly and murmured, "In the Wade family's generation, only my parents have passed away. The others should still be alive, right?" Philip said, "Yes, even though this generation is in their 40s or 50s, they are in their 40s and 50s in their prime of life. If your parents were not harmed by others, they should be the mainstay of the Wade family now." Charlie sighed and walked inward. Those security guards, as well as the old master, were all below, so they couldn't see the situation here either. Charlie stopped pretending, and Philip stepped in first. When he came to his parents' grave, took off his sunglasses and mask, and looked at the photos and names of his parents on the tombstone. The tears couldn't stop instantly, and kept streaming down his face. In his mind, it seemed that another movie was playing at a very fast speed. This movie chronicles itself from the moment he remembered it and lasted until he was 8 years old. Then, he used a faster speed in his mind to flash his own life for more than 10 years in fragments. The 18 years without parents have been long and difficult, and full of bitterness and pain that ordinary people can't understand. At this moment, he had countless words in his heart that wanted to confide to his deceased parents, but when the words reached his mouth, he felt like a block in his throat, and he couldn't say a word. After crying for a moment in front of the tombstone, Charlie knelt on the ground with a thud, holding flowers in both hands, and placing them respectfully in front of the tombstone, choked up and said, "Dad, Mom, your son is not filial. You have been here for 18 years before your son came to see you. All these years, your son has been trapped and overwhelmed. I have not been able to pay homage. Please forgive me,